Greetings, humans. It's time. The season is upon. It's time for the Week 1 injury review, preview, update, overview, the thing we like to do every Saturday to get you up to speed, kind of set the table for what you need to know as you head into Sunday, setting your lineups and kind of give you the information. And by the way, when I give you this information, remember this information changes constantly, right? So that's check the late breaking updates section of the site. Once you see the people you need to follow in your lineups, go check the staff cheat sheet as well, those staff rankings. You'll find links to all the pertinent articles of interest, so find the players on your team, the players you're interested in lining up, and you'll find links to any pertinent articles there as well, or any updated articles. And of course, it goes right up through Sunday's kickoffs. Each kickoff window will report the inactives and the decisions that we're about to discuss. The Thursday night football was a great start. Dak Prescott looked great. Tom Brady looked great. Ronald Jones, not so great. We had some injuries in that game, though. Most particularly, Michael Gallup will be out 3 to 5 weeks. It sounds like he'll go on short-term IR, injured his calf, so that's going to be an issue. But it looks like they have plenty of firepower between Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb there as well. They're going to lose La'el Collins, the right tackle, for 5-game suspension. That's going to be rough as well. So Zach Martin should be back off the COVID list soon. So there's that. We'll set that aside. The Cowboys have things to work on, right? They didn't have the balance they wanted, but Dak Prescott looked great. Both offenses hit the ground running. For Sunday, we have some injury issues that you need to make note of. Most particular, the one that's going to be most worrisome to people. And I'll get into Baltimore. I'll do these in order. Early kickoffs from Sunday, late afternoon kickoffs from Sunday, Sunday night, and then Monday. We know there are a ton of issues on Monday with the Baltimore Ravens. The big story, J.K. Dobbins tore his ACL in the preseason. Gus Edwards tore an ACL in practice this week. So Tyson Williams is the man there. They've added some pieces. I'll talk about that in a minute. But let's start out with the Chargers. Facing the Washington football team in Washington. Austin Eckler listed as questionable. Everyone's optimistic about his availability. He didn't practice the first 2 days, was back on the field Friday, but it's a hamstring. He missed 6 games with that injury last year, and this is a super tough matchup. So this is one you're going to have to watch, kind of a personal decision. I might be dialing back on some of my Chargers this week, but look, we saw what Dallas did to the tough Tampa Bay defense in week 1. So matchups week 1 can be a little dicey. Eckler, though, going into this game, questionable. You'll need to watch Sunday heading into the 90 minutes leading up to kickoff for his ultimate availability. On the other side of the ball, Curtis Samuel is out. He's on IR. He'll miss at least 3 weeks. Groin injury. He aggravated it early this week in practice. It's been lingering since June. He's had a lot of issues since he joined his team, was on the COVID list for a while. But the groin has been an ongoing issue, and he tweaked it again, so out at least 3 weeks. Arizona Cardinals hosting the Tennessee Titans. The Titans have Josh Reynolds, the wide receiver, listed as questionable. Sam Ficken, their place kicker, also listed as questionable. They have signed someone to the practice squad. You want to watch the updates. Honestly, you'll want to avoid the situation, right? When you have kickers who are messed up, just pivot away, right, to somebody healthy on a good offense. But just in case they do have another body on the roster, go check the updates for the Titans. You'll find that, or look at Ficken on the rankings, and you'll find links to all the information. On the other side of the ball, Cardinals are all good to go. For the Carolina Panthers hosting New York Jets, the Panthers are all good to go. Shi Smith, the rookie wide receiver, won't be playing, but that's no big deal. On the other side of the ball, Jamison Crowder is the player we're interested in. He's ruled out on the COVID reserve list. Don't expect to see him, or you won't see him. Don't expect. He will not play. Keelan Cole is also questionable here. LaMichael Pirine questionable. Knee for Cole, foot for Pirine. Pirine's down the depth chart a ways. It looks like Tevin Coleman's going to start. Ty Johnson's gaining some ground. Michael Carter kind of not an impressive camp or overly impressive camp. So there's that. But that backfield will shake out with Pirine listed as questionable. The receiving core, without Crowder, and Cole was slated to be a starter, so Corey Davis is locked in as the wide receiver 1 there. We'll see if Elijah Moore gets a little more run. They also have some other bodies there. Braxton Berrios, Jeff Smith, etc. Denzel Mims is still there. Don't know what kind of roles they get. I would go with the top guys. Maybe Elijah Moore moves up a little higher in the rotation. He's been impressive in camp. For the Buffalo Bills, they entertained the Pittsburgh Steelers, or in Pittsburgh, my bad. Or no, Pittsburgh at Buffalo. Emmanuel Sanders listed as questionable. Won't be greatly missed, like their top, 3 of their top wideout targets from last year. It's Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, Gabriel Davis still there. So Sanders questionable. We'll see if he gets on the field. Houston and Jacksonville. Deshaun Watson's been ruled out. Expect that to be a weekly thing. Kymie Fairbairn, the kicker, is placed on IR. Joey Sly will replace him. Beyond that, everyone's good to go for Jacksonville. Seems like DJ Chark missed a fair amount of time this summer coming off finger surgery. He should be back and ready to go. There is no Travis Etienne in case you missed it. Somehow this summer he is done for the season. So James Robinson is back in a role similar to what he had last year. Late afternoon kickoffs. This is where it gets tricky, right? Late afternoon games, you're going to need pivots if these people are in your lineups or you want to play them and they don't go. Saquon Barkley listed as questionable. Essentially, this seems like he's more probable than questionable. The question is, not so much will he play, and look, there could be a setback or whatever that we don't foresee that could cause them to make him a scratch, but it's the role that we're more questionable with, right? We don't know how much they're going to play him or how heavily they're going to lean on him. In his first game back, tore his ACL in week 2 last season. They brought him along slowly all summer, but he has been working more completely and made it through practice all this week without any issues. Evan Ingram's ruled out for this game, calf injury, don't know when he'll be back. Kyle Rudolph and Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, all off the injury report. Golladay missed most of the summer with a hamstring injury. He has said this offense might get off to a slow start based on all the issues they had all off season long. In addition, their offensive line is not great. This might be a tough going for them. Against the Broncos, pretty tough defense. On the other side of the ball, everyone's good to go. I think Bradley Chubb is is having some issues, but on defense. But on offense, no offense off the injury report. So that works out well. The other big game, Odell Beckham Jr. listed as questionable against the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. Kicker Chase McLaughlin also questionable. You'll need to watch that. They have a viable backup there. Again, if you're dealing with an injured kicker, people pivot to a kicker situation that's more solid, right? There's plenty of them out there. Beckham, teammates think he's going to play. Kevin Stefanski's kind of playing coy, saying, well, we have 48 hours, said this on Friday. Beckham has practiced, reportedly looked good. Teammates expect him to play. Local reporters expect him to play. I expect him to play too. And hoping he turns out to be a huge draft day value over the course of time. On the other side of the ball, Chiefs are all good to go. Clyde Edwards-Helaire ankle, not an issue. He practiced all week. Mecole Hardman was a little nicked up. He's fine now as well. New England Patriots hosting the Miami Dolphins. Nelson Aguilar listed as questionable. This is kind of a sudden thing. Showed up on the injury report this week and, slated to be a starting wide receiver. So we'll see what happens there. Quinn Norton opens as the kicker. Nick Folk is still on the practice squad. This may be a case of roster maneuvers. Folk was on the roster to start week 1. He's a vested veteran. They would owe him his whole season salary. Since he wasn't, now they can bring him in. So we'll see. Again, kicker situation. Look elsewhere. When there's uncertainty, you don't need to deal with that. No kicker is worth that. On the other side of the ball, Preston Williams listed as questionable with a foot injury. This seems to be the same injury that was a problem last year that cost him most of the season. So he is back. He played in the last preseason game, so seems like it'll go. Will Fuller will not play. He's on a 1-game suspension, if you'll remember that. So that's a thing. Let's see and so everyone else is good to go there though in Miami. So good sign for that. For the New Orleans Saints, game will be played in Jacksonville against the Green Bay Packers. Packers injury report is clean. For New Orleans, Michael Thomas on the PUP won't play until at least week 7. I think they have week 6 bye, so it'll be a while before you see him. Marquez Callaway moves into the wide receiver 1 role. The wide receiver 2 won't be Traequan Smith. He was placed on IR with a hamstring injury this week. He'll miss at least 3 weeks, so that guy can't catch a break and also can't catch enough passes to make us happy. Callaway looks like a good play. Tough matchup, though, this week. Jameis Winston takes over for Drew Brees as the starter. I'm looking for Drew Brees' hair tonic. I think I could use that. If you watch Thursday night, you know what I'm talking about. Sunday night football. Darnell Mooney listed as questionable with a back issue going against the Rams. It's a tough matchup for the Bears in Los Angeles. Tough defense. Allen Robinson likely to see a lot of Jalen Ramsey. But Mooney, the expectation is he will play, but you're going to need to check that. And if you don't have a pivot in Monday night's game or to another receiver Sunday night, it could be a problem. Maybe you just want to avoid that. For the Rams, everyone's good to go. Everyone of interest is good to go. Now I'll get to the Monday night game. This is where the issues came up. I mentioned the Ravens having running back, a lot of attrition at running back already. Tyson Williams, second-year player, big guy, 6 foot 220, is going to be the leading player here. They brought in Latavius Murray. I think he will be active for this game. John Harbaugh said he's the closest thing to in-game shape. So that's worth something, right? Right now. And he seems ideally suited to this offense, I would think, as the season goes on. They brought Le'Veon Bell, signed him to the practice squad. Harbaugh suggested he's not quite up to, in game condition. They also brought in Devontae Freeman. He's closer than Bell is to being in game shape. So those are things they'll need to look for. On the other side of the ball, Josh Jacobs has been limited in practice. Check the injury report will be out shortly after I post this video on Saturday. So watch for that in the late breaking update section of the site. Tons of stuff on the site. As always, people, it's good to be back for another season, right? Happy to have you. Happy to have you as a subscribers. We brought Casey Joyner, the football scientist. We'll have a similar thing to this in written form every week. An injury report / sit start that he's putting up on Friday. So check that as well. Good piece of information. Brad Cruz is sitting start up earlier in the week. You always want to check that. New content creators on the DFS space on the site include Jamie Calandro, who will join John Laub and Justin Lanero and myself in that regard. Gary Davenport still doing the defensive work. Our shadow coverage report is always a great thing. Tons of tools, weapons. Evan Tarciano will begin doing the waiver wire wizard stuff next week, so be ready for that. We also have brought on Reginald James. Ask Commissioner if you're a commissioner out there and you're trying to sort through some issues, he can help you out. So there you have it. Tons of tools, lineup optimizers, DFS pricing and ownership percentages, all the things you need to succeed in your league, including My Fantasy GM. If you're running regular season long leagues, this is an invaluable tool. So check it all out, and good luck this weekend. Again, check out the site. We'll have our live pregame video with Jamie Calandro and Brady James. In the morning, catch me on the SiriusXM Fantasy Sports pregame show Sunday morning for that. And also, if you're catching this Saturday afternoon, listen to the Football Diehards all Saturday night on Fantasy Sports Radio from 5 to 7 and on NFL Radio from 8 to 11. 5 hours of Diehards. What's better than that? Reading the site while you're listening? Get some. All right, everybody, good luck. And by the way, on this 20-year anniversary of 9/11, I'd like to remind everyone, never forget, right? Never. Thanks. Good luck this weekend.